vlog simulator video, guys. Thanks for checking this out. I'm Jay from rightsprite.co.uk, and yes, the Dreamcast now is well into 20 years old, and in 2020 we're actually still getting some games released by independent companies. Now I just got a bit of a new setup. I just got a new camera and I'm using a mic, so let me know if you prefer this setup. Yeah, I think it might look and sound a bit better, but let me know in the comment box below. So let's get into Dreamcast games in 2020. Now, this console here, I believe this is probably actually what got me kicked into retro gaming and gaming more in general. I just wanted to try and support Sega because I realised how much of a hidden gem this was. Must have been in mid-2000, and how many people were supporting Sega, and there's so many talk groups, chat groups, and you know, just YouTubers really appreciating what Sega did back in 2000. And now today a lot of companies still are, and a lot of you guys are as well, which is awesome. And we're still getting games today, which is pretty sweet. So the first one I actually want to show you guys is a game called Arcade Racing Legends, which is done by a game company called Pixel Hat. Now this is pretty awesome because this is actually a 3D game, and we've never really had a 3D based game for the actual console since the cancellation in early 2000. So this is pretty awesome. I believe they actually made a game called 4x4, which was, I think, the first 3D game by an independent company. So now they're actually going to make a bigger product and going to be releasing this apparently in 2020. So I'm just going to run over a little trailer that they've released recently.
The game was successfully launched through Kickstarter with the support of JoshPod, who is heavily involved with the Dreamcast scene. It features 2-player mode, a career mode, time trial with more than 15 vehicles to choose from. Big time backers of this project are also featuring their own cars with their brands, HDMI and VGA support, with potential talks of actually bringing this game online. Developers with this great ambition has included several inspiration from Sega titles such like Sega Rally, Lucia Delta, Outrun, Daytona USA, and the rather lovely looking Crazy Taxi. I must say I'm still very impressed, especially for an indie release for a Dreamcast with the most impressive graphics that I have never seen for many years.
So yeah, this game featuring split screen and racing as well, I think that's awesome, and the soundtrack is so sweet. I'm really looking forward to that. Perhaps I might be able to pick that up with the actual original soundtrack on disc as well. Really looking forward to that title myself. Now the next one I want to show you guys is a game called Intrepid Easy, I think that's how you say it. So it's another platform for us guys. It looks like a pretty simple platform, collecting stuff and jump on enemies, but it actually looks really well made, and the actual website can actually give you access to a download of a demo. So I'm going to download that, guys, and show you some gameplay of what we can actually access already.
Another successful launch through Kickstarter, it is being handled by a game company called Sentinel Team. The same guys who brought us indie Dreamcast games like Beats of Rage and Rush Rush Rally. After playing this for a short while, this seemed to mix more of a gameplay than I initially thought, with action adventure styles with classic and modern graphics. Marrying them together, this seems to be a very colourful and imaginative game. It is featuring and influences games from like Street Fighter and the classic platformer Super Mario, with several ability items that you can pick up on the way, much like Monster World. Through playing this demo, I did notice some control mapping problems and some problems with the audio, but these are very small minor problems that the company can easily work on before the release. With some creative imagination and gameplay, I do recommend heading to the Kickstarter for more information to what to expect from this title, but already it is shaping up to look pretty awesome.
So the next title I'm going to show you guys is a game you might have already heard of before. It was released for the Mega Drive last year, and now they're actually going to be porting this out now to a lot of consoles. I believe it's already out for the PlayStation 4 and Switch, but they're actually going to be making it for the Neo Geo. But for the Dreamcast, you can actually get this now from their website. Just easily download it as a CDI image, and you just burn that to disc, but you have to pay half the price that you would for the physical edition. And I think that's a really good idea to help support the companies that want to make this game, but the distribution cost and manufacturing cost is pretty high. So I hope a lot of companies will actually get behind this, but it does exploit people to actually just rip this game themselves and then just give it out free. But I know the people behind the game company, well, the people that appreciate the Sega Dreamcast and these game companies will just like to support the game company itself. And so that in mind, I just want to show you some gameplay that actually I purchased the Mega Drive ROM from the website, and I put that into my emulator with the PS Classic, so then I can actually get my 360 pad and use the other stick as the directional shoot buttons. So this game is a top-down arcade style and is much like that Smash TV. So I'm just going to run over some gameplay now for you.
Another crowd-funded title with a great ambition to release this for the Mega Drive and Dreamcast has now been spanned across many current systems as well, like the PlayStation 4 and Switch. The game has really been made with a labour of love by a small development team based here in the UK by Bitmap Bureau. It has been heavily influenced with games like Robotron and Smash TV with updated fundamentals and updated control scheme. For the Mega Drive, graphically it looks and sounds really impressive, especially how the sound quality came out, the style and how addictive this game quickly became. The levels and overall design are very polished, and the attention to detail is very noticeable throughout the game. The game is quite tough, so I do recommend grabbing a buddy, well, when we can, or even try the net play through RetroAct. As you progress through each stage, you can then level up your character attributes. Getting better at the game, it then becomes tougher. With yet its simpleness and yet enjoyable gameplay, it feels very rewarding as you progress. I'm very looking forward to future releases from this company, and perhaps personally this is my favourite indie title for the older consoles, next to Pyre Solar for the Mega Drive. So just for the guys who are interested in getting their 360 or even second analog stick control set up for this game, if I go to my RetroAct and my options, you will see my control layout. So I'm going to set my port 1 controls, so it's registered as a retro pad with analog stick. I think that's by default. So here is the structure I've got it set up. You can always set it up the way you like, but this is the way I prefer. So if you just see which buttons I've got set to what, and I screw down the bottom, so you need the right analog stick for the buttons on the actual control pad. And that's it.
Yeah? Hang on. So anyway, that's the shopping sorted. Sorry about the interruption. The next title I'm going to show you is a game called Slave. And now this game, just a quick little research, is done by a game company called Goat Store. Now these have actually been releasing a couple of titles. I think one of them is called Feet of Fury, and they released that, must have been in the mid 2000s as well. So there's a couple of titles they've released, and I'll send you a link of all these games in the description below, their websites, so you can actually purchase these games as well. But this new one is another 3D puzzle game influenced by Doom, and it's got a really crazy soundtrack. So I'll just show you some gameplay footage now that I've seen on their website.
So immediately the music is pretty banging, it seems quite trippy and is very interesting style of gameplay. It resembles much like Doom mixed with Minecraft on acid. I only could find a 360p type of quality, which is a bit of a shame because this game would look a bit better with a higher quality video. Jay Townsend is making this game in collaboration with indie developer Isotope and Goat Store publisher. It is a very colourful first person shooter built around an enhanced Doom engine called 3D-GE. Its core design is much like around 80s arcade shooters with old school first person style of shooter like Doom and Wolfenstein. It has already been stated that only 484 copies will be available and produced, including 400 limited editions. The price isn't too bad, it's around £17 to £25 for the limited edition, not including post and packaging that is. Both Isotope and Goat Store are working on more titles for the Dreamcast, so please keep an eye out on their web store. The links will be provided below.
Now the last one I want to show you guys is another one with Xeno titled in it, called Xeno Cider, by a game company called Retro Samus. And these have been making this game for since 2017, and the hype is pretty high. It looks a lot like Space Harrier mixed with Sin and Punishment, and those games are awesome. And you can see now with the trailer, the music is pretty sweet as well.
Well, I managed to actually piece together some beta footage that is provided by their site for you guys. As you can see, it is shaping up pretty nicely, which they are now on the beta 4 stage. It seems that this game has evolved quite a bit from the first time I saw it. The game is yet another successful Kickstarter project that was originally launched back in 2016, with plans of it coming to the PC, Mac and 3DS. As times have changed, I can see this game trying to make over to the Switch as well, but that's just my input. Its gameplay resembles much like 3D rail shooter style, and is built from a brand new engine from scratch called Dreamer. It is stated that the game will feature 10 levels, including special stages, upgradable skills, with 3 game modes: story, arcade and boss run, with 3 difficulty levels, with replayability to unlock more content. It also will feature customizable controls and support for arcade stick, mouse and keyboard, and the official twin stick, stating that it is going to be a stable 60 FPS and 480p output, so it's friendly with HDMI and VGA cables, with what sounds like a rockin' soundtrack by producer and keyboardist Dujo Martin.
So this game now is in beta 4 phase, and recently I did send an email to the company regarding if I can get a beta of this game so I can do a little review for you guys. I'm pretty excited for this title, and also recently you might have noticed there's a game called Heroes 3 which was going to be released for the Dreamcast, and some guy I believe over in America actually got the beta disc, and he sold it on he tried to sell it through Kickstarter just to try and get his money back, and then he released it for us to actually download and test for ourselves. Now the game is in very early beta stages, but you can still try and actually play this game, and yes, it's for a fair few hours I have noticed through some YouTube videos, but hopefully guys can actually mod that actual ISO file and implement the structure from the PC version and put it in and actually make a full retail release for the Dreamcast, much like what we had with Half-Life. So that would be pretty sweet as well, another game to look forward to. So I hope you enjoy this video, guys. Let me know if you like the structure. I did change it up a bit, and I managed to get a decent camera, well, decent newish, and I've also got a new microphone, but I do have another one in stock. So this is another test run. Let me know in the comments below if you like the setup. And always guys, I need to try and get this channel uplifted, and I only can do that thanks for you guys. So if you like this video, hit that button. If you want to help and support, click subscribe, leave your comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.